Thank you so much, Sharmila Mataji and Pooja. So we are having a nice opportunity to hear from Pooja. Pooja, we welcome you and it's all yours. Please go ahead and you can start your summary and presentation. Hari bol.
Can I do the prayers, Mataji?
Of course, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Anyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Putale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunandan Vitam Tam Sat Jivam Sadvaitam Sadavadutam Parijanahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahakana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrasabano Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripasindubhaya Evacha Patitanam Pavanvayo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadatara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Voice.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I am Pooja and I'll be explaining the chapter 8 of Bhagwat Geeta, Attaining the Supreme. I would like to apologize if I make any mistake along the way, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pooja.
The Bhagavad Gita is actually the chapters of Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Chapters 7 to 12 deal with Bhakti Yoga. Thank you to Pooja Mataji who had started the Bhakti Yoga, and I shall take on from that. So what is Bhakti Yoga? Expression of religious devotion through prayer, ritual, and chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and develop unconditional love and devotion towards the Supreme Personality, Lord Krishna. Okay, let's move on to the text now. So in the first text, Arjuna asks Krishna 7 main questions. What is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is material manifestation? Who are demigods? Who is the Lord of Sacrifice? And how can those engaged in devotional service know Krishna at the time of death? Throughout this chapter, Sri Krishna will be answering the 7 questions posed by Arjuna. So in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna is mentioned as the supreme absolute truth. Sri Krishna is Brahman, the living entity or individual soul. He is the Paramatma, and he also is Bhagavan. Also in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna calls the supreme personality as Purushottama. In text 2, Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, who is Lord of Yajna and how is he residing in the body of living entity? Sri Indra and Sri Vishnu are worshipped by Yajna performances. However, Arjuna asks who is the Lord of Yajna himself. Arjuna is also anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness on what should their position at their final moment be. Well, we would be asking this question, why would Arjuna ask such a question to Sri Krishna? Well, at the time, at a person's final moment, their mind is extremely disturbed due to their physical conditions, and at that point, remembering Krishna would be a very difficult task. For example, we can take the great devotee Maharaja Kulashekara, who once prayed to Sri Krishna that he shall pass away when he is extremely healthy and when his mind is undisturbed, so that he will chant the Maha Mantra and land at the lotus feet of Krishna. Also, Arjuna asks how a living entity can fix his mind on the Supreme Personality at his final moments. When we are questioning it, Arjuna himself asks the question to Sri Krishna. In text 3, Sri Krishna now moves on to answer the questions posed by Arjuna. The first question he answers is, what is Brahman? Well, Brahman is referred to as the living entity. If we all remember in the first slide, we spoke that Sri Krishna is Brahman and he is the Parabrahman and he is the Bhagwan. So what if Brahman is the living entity? What is Parabrahman? Well, Parabrahman is Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Okay, so Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Now, the Brahman's nature has a purpose in his life, which could be split into either of the two. Number one, in material consciousness, he tries to be the Lord of matter, or in Krishna consciousness, he tries to serve the Supreme. In the process of sacrifice to reach the heavenly planets, a living entity performs various sacrifices to reach the specific heavenly planets, and by doing so, he also goes to the specific planets. However, as the merit of sacrifice exhausts, he has to return back to earth in the form of Deen. From then on, he takes the form of grains and he is consumed by men. He is then transferred into semen, which impregnates the woman, and the living entity attains the human form again. This cycle repeats again and again, and this is known as karma. In brief, karma means when living entity is in material consciousness, he must take on various body in the material world, like of an animal, of a human, of a demigod, etc. Okay. Okay. In text 4, Sri Krishna explains to Arjuna about 3 important terms: Adibhuta, Adidevata, and Adiyagnya. Adibhuta is explained as the living entities or the material bodies. They pass through 6 stages. They are born, they grow, they remain for some duration, they produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Adidevata are represented as the demigods and their planets. And lastly, Adiyagnya is the lord of sacrifice, the super soul himself. If we remember, Arjuna had asked Sri Krishna on where is the Paramatma situated in the living entity, and Sri Krishna answers in text 3 that Paramatma is situated in the heart. And also, the body of the living entity contains both the individual soul and the super soul. If we very well remember, Arjuna had also asked in text 2 who was the Lord of Sacrifice, and here Sri Krishna answers that the Lord of Sacrifice is none other than Sri Krishna himself. In text 5, Sri Krishna emphasizes on Krishna consciousness. In the slokas, the word smaran was used, and it means remembering. Hence, remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. For example, if we plan to start waking up early the next day, or so that our life can go well, it cannot be implemented automatically. It needs practice, like tomorrow I wake up at 7 a.m., then gradually at 6 a.m. So similarly, to attain that Krishna consciousness state, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life in order to achieve success at the end of his life. Process of remembering Krishna is so essential that one should constantly, incessantly, and tolerating all the impediments or distractions, he should continuously chant the Maha Mantra. In text 6, Sri Krishna emphasizes on the state of mind at one's final moments. Here we could start off with an example of Maharaja Bharata, who was a great personality, but at his deathbed he was thinking of deer, and in his next life he was born as a deer. Here, he emphasizes that at the end of their life, one should quit his body thinking of Krishna, attains transcendental nature of the Supreme Personality. Therefore, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is the best process for successfully changing one's life state of being at the end of one's life. From here, we can also discover that someone's thought is so powerful that it can even influence them in their next birth too. In text 7, Sri Krishna explains the importance of material duties and Krishna consciousness. Sri Krishna instructs Arjuna that one should not give up on his prescribed duties and he should continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting. Through this, he gets transferred to the supreme planet Krishna Loka. For example, grihasthas who are family people, just because they have to remember Krishna, they cannot. Family people, they have kids, they have like responsibilities, so they cannot give that up It's impossible. So they will have to do their prescribed duties at the same time, chant the Hare Krishna mantra and remember Krishna also. In text 8, Sri Krishna explains on how to reach the Supreme Personality. This can be done by 3 ways. By mystic meditation, wherein one practice of chanting and hearing the sound vibrations of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue, and mind are engaged. When these senses are engaged, you are automatically thinking about the Supreme Personality and your mind is concentrating on the Supreme Personality himself. Number 2, by mind constantly engaged in Supreme Personality. Devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord in any of his features, Narayana, Krishna, Rama, etc., by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And number 3, by undeviating from the path. If we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives, we shall reach the lotus feet of Krishna. For example, we have a caterpillar which constantly thinks in its entire life that it's going to be a butterfly someday or the other. Eventually, it even transforms itself into a butterfly within the same life itself. That from this we can again understand the importance of a living entity's thought and how it influences their actions. In text 9, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is explained. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Kavi. He is aware of the past, present, and future. He is aware of everything. He is the oldest personality. He is the origin of everything, and from him, everything is born. He is the supreme controller of universe. He is the maintainer and instructor of humanity. He is even smaller than the smallest. Also, while looking at the sky or while watching documentaries, we always have this question: how do planets float in the air? Well, in Bhagwat Gita, they explain that the Supreme Lord, by his inconceivable energy, sustains all the planets and systems of galaxy. Therefore, intelligent persons should avoid arguments and speculations and accept what is stated in scriptures like the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam and follow their principles. We have encountered people in life who do not trust or do not believe in Sri Krishna or the teachings and preachings of them. So it's important that we should avoid such arguments and speculations and accept whatever is stated in the scriptures and follow their principles. In text 10, Sri Krishna explains the state of mind and at the time of death. Well, there is 2 ways to fix one's mind at his final moments, because at that time their mind is very disturbed. So how can we solve this issue? Well, Sri Krishna says there's 2 types. One, by practicing Sat Chakra Yoga, wherein meditation is done on the 6 chakras and the life force is raised in the Ajna Chakra. This chakra is where the women usually they place their bindis, and this is actually where the Ajna Chakra is. So the life force is raised over here. One thing to note is that practicing Sat Chakra Yoga it is very difficult. One should practice it throughout his life, and it is pretty difficult. Well, the other way is to practice Krishna consciousness. Always engage in Krishna consciousness, and at death, he can remember Krishna. Okay, in text 11, in text 11, Sri Krishna talks about the impersonal Brahman and the Mahamantra. In the Vedic system of knowledge, students from the very beginning are taught to vibrate Om and learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with the spiritual master in complete celibacy. Well, we see two new terms, impersonal and celibacy. Well, what is impersonal? Impersonal is someone who is not influenced by showing or involving personal feelings. What is celibacy? It is state of abstaining from marriage and sexual relations. Unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. Well, unfortunately, in this yuga that we are living and in the social construct that we are living, practicing such practices is it's difficult. It's pretty difficult. It's not impossible. It's a little bit difficult. Hence, Lord Chaitanya has announced that according to the scriptural injunctions for this age of Kali, there is no process of realizing the Supreme except the chanting of holy names of Lord Krishna or the Mahamantra. He says, chant Mahamantra is enough. It's more than enough. Okay. In text 12, Sri Krishna explains the importance of Krishna consciousness. The practice of Pratyahara Yoga is wherein it's the withdrawal of senses from the sense objects, eyes, nose, tongue, and touch. You may wonder, well, withdrawal of senses, then what will I do? It's not like you should close your eyes or close your nose or cut your tongue. It's difficult. So what they're trying to say is that the senses should be fully controlled. So even if you see something, you control it. You smell something, you control it, and not be allowed in self gratification. You shouldn't be wavered or self indulge yourself in such senses. However, as explained in the previous text, it is not practical in this age. So the best process is Krishna consciousness. If one is able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental state or samadhi. Text 13 talks about the attainment of the spiritual planets. Here, chanting of the Maha Mantra is clearly recommended for his age. Throughout text 11, 12, 13 is just emphasizing on how chanting of the Maha Mantra, especially in this age, is very, very important. If one quits his body at the end of his life chanting the mantra, he will certainly reach one of the spiritual planets according to his mode of practice. So it's guaranteed he will reach one of the three spiritual planets. Those planets are Goloka Vrindavana, the Krishna planet where the devotees of Krishna enter, Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, entered by the personalists, and Brahma Jyoti by the impersonalists. In text 14, Sri Krishna emphasizes on the constant engagement in devotional service. A pure devotee always engages in devotional service to Krishna in one of his various personal features, either Rama or Narsimha. A devotee can choose to fix his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord. Bhakti Yoga is very, very simple, pure, and easy to perform. One can simply begin by chanting Hare Krishna. It's very simple. You have to think of the Lord and chant Hare Krishna mantra and fix his mind, and you're a pure devotee. Well, there are 5 different ways Bhakti yogis engage themselves with Sri Krishna. One is Santa Bhakta, engaged in devotional service and neutrality, meaning he doesn't see Sri Krishna as anything personal. To him, Sri Krishna is the God, and he is respecting him and he is thinking about him and everything. Dasya Bhakta, engaged in devotional service, is a servant. So Supreme Lord is there. He serves the Supreme Lord. He sees himself as a servant for the Supreme Lord. Sakya Bhakta, engaged as a friend. Something which is very common. People commonly see God as their friend who they can share their sorrows and happiness with. Vatsalya Bhakta engaged as parent. They can see Sri Krishna as someone who will take care of him, who will make sure that he's fine, who will be there as a parent, how a parent never gives up on their child. Similarly, they believe that Sri Krishna will always be there for the Bhakta. And finally, Madhurya Bhakta engaged as conjugal lover of the Supreme Lord. Well, it's interesting, how do people see Supreme Lord as a conjugal lover? Well, we know very famous example, Mirabai, who always saw Krishna as a conjugal lover, always thought of him, sang prayers of him, and etc. So in any of these ways, the pure devotee is always constantly engaged in transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. In text 15, Sri Krishna explains about the Supreme Souls. Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees and gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness. They become so absorbed in transcendental service, they only want Krishna and Krishna's association. And this is considered as the highest perfection of life, which is therefore they are considered as the Supreme Souls. Here we should not confuse between supreme souls and super soul. Supreme souls are the Mahatmas, wherein super souls is Sri Krishna himself. Text 16. In text 16, we see about the influence of Krishna consciousness in the afterlife. Well, all kinds of yogis, karma yogi, jnana yogi, hatha yogi, etc., must attain perfection in Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna transcendental abode and never return back to the material world. Living entities are elevated from Earth to higher planets, and the vice versa can happen, wherein the souls in the higher planets can fall down to Earth. Well, then what do we do? How do we make sure that we don't fall down to Earth? Because with so much of difficulties, we went to higher planets, and it's so sad. We will be falling down, coming back to Earth. All our, you know, all our hardships and all are going to waste. So what do? We should always engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, even though we are in the higher planets. In that way, we go up and up and up, and finally we reach Krishna Loka. Okay. Text 17, 18, 19, and 20 talks about the duration of the material world. Duration of the material world is limited, and it's spoken like it Kalpa is 1 day of Brahma, and 1 day of Brahma contains 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas. These 4 yugas are: number 1, Satya Yuga, which lasts for 1,728,000 years. Here there is no ignorance and vice. What is vice? Vice is immoral behavior. Number 2 is Treta Yuga, 1 lakh, which lasts for 1,296,000 years, and here the vice is introduced. Number 3, Dwapara Yuga, which lasts for 864,000 years. Vice increases here. And finally, in Kali Yuga, which is the yuga that we are in right now, lasts for 432,000 years, where there is abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, vice, and true virtue is non-existent. It's so the Kali Yuga worsens to such a level that the Supreme Lord himself has to appear in Kalki Avatara and vanquish the demons, save his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. And this cycle goes on and on and on again. Now, we said that 1 day of Brahma, that is the daytime of Brahma, contains 1,000 cycles of yugas. Then automatically you would ask, how about the night time? Well, during the night time of Brahma, the universe, that is the planets, the galaxies, are all annihilated by the Supreme Personality. The souls that are in various spiritual planets are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Text 21 gives a description about Goloka Vrindavana and Supreme Personality. So about Goloka Vrindavana, it's the supreme abode of Lord Krishna. It is a place where all desires are fulfilled. The palaces are made of touchstones. There are desire trees and then surabhi cows. Surabhi cows are cows which provide limitless supply of milk. And the Lord himself is served by thousands of goddesses of fortune, otherwise known as Lakshmi. this Goloka Vrindavana, while looking at these 4 points itself, makes us wonder, wow, how beautiful can this be? And it's definitely a place that it's so heavenly, it's so dreamy that I want, and everybody would want to be there. Of course, after all the hardships they face in this planet, they would definitely want to be there. So Goloka Vrindavana is because it has the supreme personality, it also is very dreamy and very beautiful. Now, if the place where Supreme Lord himself is there, it's very beautiful. How beautiful would the Supreme Lord be? So his in the Bhagavad Gita, they say that his transcendental form is the most attractive in all the worlds. His eyes are like lotus petals. His color of the body is the color of the clouds. He's so attractive that his beauty excels that of 1,000 cupids. And also he wears a saffron cloth, a garland around his neck, and a peacock feather on his hair. Text 22 explains about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, he is nonetheless all pervading by his material energy. Hence, by his spiritual and material energies, he is present in both spiritual and material universes. We can take the example of the rays of the sun, how the sun influences our planet, our life on an everyday basis. When the sun comes up, we say, oh, the sun's here, but is the sun actually near the planet Earth? No, we would burn. But then, though it's far, far away, its rays reach us and it makes us happy, it influences us, it gives us a positivity. Similarly, Sri Krishna, though he is in his supreme abode, like miles and miles away from Earth, his spiritual and material energies is present among us. He's present in both the spiritual and material universes, and we could feel it. We can feel his presence around us. Plenary expansions of the Lord preside over the Vaikuntha planets are four-armed, and they are known by a variety of names: Purushottama, Trivikrama, Kesava, Madhava, and many more. In text 23, Sri Krishna explains the difference between not unalloyed and unalloyed devotees. What are unalloyed devotees? Unalloyed are complete and unreserved. So, what is the differences between these two devotees? Well, unalloyed devotees do not care when they leave their bodies or by what method. But not unalloyed devotees must leave the body at a suitable time in order to be sure of whether they will return to the world of birth and death. We have seen a lot of real life examples wherein people, they check what time this person passed away. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Even we see people planning their death also. So we live in such a world, but they're saying that unalloyed devotees, they don't need to care when they leave their bodies or by what method. Well, why is that so? Because they leave everything in Krishna's hands. They surrender it to him. They say, I'm leaving everything to you. So I don't care how I live or what I live. I'll continuously pray you. I'll continuously worship you. So they don't care about it. But not unalloyed devotees, they depend usually on karma yoga, jnana yoga, and hatha yoga. In text 24, in text 24, Sri Krishna explains about the attainment of impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the soul to attain impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Okay, so who are mystics? How are they so special? They can arrange the time and place on how their soul is leaving. Well, mystics are people who has a direct experience of the sacred, unmediated by conventional religious rituals or intermediaries. For pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning whether he leaves the body at an auspicious time or inauspicious moment. So mystics, they are special in this way because they can arrange how they are going to pass away, where they're going to pass away. And for pure devotees, they also have no fear whether he leaves the body at an auspicious moment or inauspicious moment. So the people other than the mystics and pure devotees would be unable to do any of these stuff. They'll constantly worry, like, oh, if my soul leaves this time, what will happen? So the worry is constantly there. Okay, in text 25, 26, and 27, The path after death is explained. Sri Krishna spoke about two paths that the jiva takes after death. The bright path, which is the abode of Lord Brahma, and the soul gets liberated. And the dark path is the abode of moon, wherein the soul is born again after spending time there. So after the soul leaves the living and after the soul leaves the body, he goes to the abode of the moon, has spent some time there, and then he borns again, and this cycle continues again and again and again. In text 28, Sri Krishna explains about the life of a brahmachari and the beauty of Krishna consciousness. The life, okay, let's see about the life of a brahmachari. Well, one must study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master. Between the ages of 5 to 20, he has to live in the home of the spiritual master, wherein he will have to beg for food, and then he can only eat it only when the spiritual master say eat, or else he cannot. He'll have to be starving the whole time. After this vigorous training, he is allowed to enter household life and marry. But at that time also, he would have to perform sacrifices and he have to give charity. After retiring the household life, he accepts the order of Vanasprastha. It is again a severe penance wherein he lives in the forest and then he doesn't shave, and finally he carries out the orders of sannyasa and is elevated to the respective spiritual planets. Reading these few points itself is tiring. Oh my god, how does a brahmachari live such a life? Reading about it is tiring, but we should imagine the brahmachari situation. After doing all of this, then only would he be elevated to the respective spiritual planets. But in Krishna consciousness, just by engaging devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of different orders of life. Well, Sri Krishna says, just engage in Krishna consciousness, and you can skip all these, and then you can come to me happily in my abode under my lotus feet. Okay, finally, after discussing all this stuff, people who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita would want to know more about Bhagavad Gita, would like to learn more about Bhagavad Gita. And how can they do so? Is to learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna and not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith, because only a devotee of Krishna would be so endorsed in Krishna, would love Sri Krishna so much that they would be able to share the teachings happily to other people than the mental speculators. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Pooja. Congratulations. Thank you. First, tell me, how many days did you take to prepare this?
Saturday we started.
Sunday.
Sunday, so
Sunday?
5 days.
5 days. 5 days.
Okay. That's really very wonderful. I have no words. You actually, this was a perfect breakdown of all the shlokas in this chapter. You went with the flow, and each and every shloka you took out the essence from each and every shloka. Like otherwise, purports are big, but you just hit on the main points and summarized it here and put it in PowerPoint, which made it very, very, very blissful and very easy to understand. And I also need a promise that this won't be your last presentation.
Sure, Mataji, sure.
Okay. So, and because we don't want to waste the potential, of course, you'll study, you'll go about with your normal duties and everything. Like how you said, Dastas, they don't need to leave anything. We do everything that we have to do as a family life, but we have to bring Krishna in our, lives, in the center of our lives. So this promise we all need from you today, that you have to continue, not only for yourself, but, I see that the way you are presenting will be so much beneficial for youngsters, for your own age kids and girls and boys, and also for, people like us. It will be beneficial for everyone. So for coming generation, this is a very promising, opportunity that I see, that you can actually help many people. So it's a request. Don't let it go waste along with your studies. I'm sure, your mom and your auntie is definitely inspiration behind all this, but I'm sure that they must be double inspired by you today.
Thank you, Mataji. I mean, I should really thank my mom. She sat with me. All these examples she gave me, she heard from the Bhagwat Gita class that you take, and she tells me she had a hard time teaching me also. She was like, "Arey, Pooja." I'm like, "It's okay, Mama. It's okay."
No, but she did not give up. She's perfect mother. We should learn it. She is, no doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
because I was having my exams also, so I was it was difficult for me to manage both. But she helped me throughout. She read the chapters, she would explain it to me, and I would write down the notes. So definitely,
It's all actually what you taught us, Mataji. I don't know. I thought I would have forgotten everything, but once I opened the book, the examples, what and all you gave us, it was just flowing inside my mind. Then I shared everything with Pooja.
Wow. No, Mataji. It's your own credit that you were able to remember, because see, 15th chapter Krishna says that he gives remembrance and forgetfulness. So you got the remembrance. So you definitely have, blessings of Krishna, and you are perfect mother. But, Pooja agreeing to do that, is also another level, because, her being student, not knowing who are we all, mom's friends, maybe
Very
mom's.
close to her aunt. Pramila
she
Mataji.
goes to my Mossy Ji. She was the one who she was like, "Pooja, do
She
it.
pulled her out.
Tum kar sakte ho, you can do it. Just do it, Pooja."
Wow. Pramila Mataji. Hari Bol Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes. So, yes. So two things: that we need a promise that this is not a last one, and another promise that you will not leave this. You have to take it in your hands. We have to take the responsibility and spread this. Okay. So you can keep talking to your friends, something little. Now this video will go on YouTube. I'm sure many people will get inspired by this, and they'll try to follow example. You can actually help. You have potential, so we will use this potential. Okay. Thank you so much, Pooja Mataji, Pramila Mataji, yourself and your dad and everyone who make arrangements so that you can, success in your studies and your life and Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much. I will just read the comment here. Yeah, so Ritika is saying, nice first session for me, very inspiring. Thank you, Ritika Mataji, for such a beautiful comment. I'm sure Pooja must be very, very, very inspired and encouraged. So Mataji, please go ahead and say, words of appreciation and any doubts, any questions that you have, although it was very clear, but still, if you want to ask anything to Pooja Mataji, Bhaktin Pooja, you can go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Pooja, love you so much. It's so nice. I'm very happy, Pooja. Really, I'm very glad to see your presentation. Wow, I'm feeling very happy. Like I've created at least one people from next generation. At least you have started this, right? Please, as a seed, you should start. Okay, you should grow like a plant, and you should serve at least 2-3 families, like by your Bhagavad Gita, so that it will help others' life also. Sure, you have to do this, Pooja. Really, I'm very happy, Pooja. No words to express here. Thank God. Thanks for obeying my words. And Mataji, as Pooja, she is not only my daughter, she is my friend, she is my well-wisher, and she used to advise me a lot. She's everything for me. I when she is like 3 months till 6 months, I was helping in her childhood and all to Sharmi. So she'll be like, Pooja is now also Pooja means calm, very matured in thinking, very understanding. It's so nice. And whatever you ask in anything, any questions, even if she doesn't know, she will Google and she will say the answers. Like even if a person doesn't know A and B, A, B or C, she will explain it so nicely that even a small person, even a person who cannot understand English or who cannot understand anything on that subject, he will able to understand that. She'll be explaining so clearly, and she's very intelligent. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you. I'm very happy, Pooja. Hare Krishna. I should continue this, Pooja.
Sure.
Hare Krishna Pooja.
Hare Krishna.
Beta, I would like to say, I'm so happy to see, like, in this age, first of all, thank you so much to your parents. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for, what we will say, it was an opportunity for me to hear from her. Like, I'm so blessed, actually. I'm feeling so emotional, so nice. And
Thank you so much,
I
Mataji.
would like to say, like, at this age, kids don't have the knowledge to decide what to do, what not to do. She's so clear, she explained the chapter like a mirror. So, God bless you, Vita. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
I want to say so many things, but I will share with you.
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, my dear Bhaktin Pooja, for giving us the beautiful essence of why we should constantly be remembering Krishna and how important is to meditate on this beautiful Maha Mantra, which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to us. Your presentation was so clear. It was like, we have read this chapter so many times, but if given a chance, I don't think so I would be able to give such clear presentation with such clarity of thoughts and everything. You were just flowing easily. It was like a koi teen text TED speaker. Is that's something, right? TED speaker speaking and inspiring so many other teens there.
Mataji,
And
sorry to interrupt. Shraddha Mataji, please show your face. I just want to see how you wish my daughter. I just want to see your face. Please, please,
I am
please.
in a
That's okay. I want to see that.
I am awkwardly sitting.
It's okay, Mataji. It's okay.
So, okay. So, I don't know if you all can see me. Okay. So, thank you, Pooja, for giving this beautiful flow of presentation. You did not stop anywhere. There was no pause. It was so clear in understanding two most important things which Krishna states here throughout. How you beautifully first started with all the 7 questions and how you answered each of them, how Krishna was answering. But very important essence which you wanted to say and which I could take from it is chanting on Mahamantra and keeping our mind fixed on Krishna. So, at the deathbed, we will just remember Krishna and it is so easy to go back to him, right? So thank you for summarizing that so beautifully and so easily that, हो गया, यही करना है, इसके आगे और कुछ नहीं. Thank you so much. It was so beautiful. Thank you, Vita.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Pooja.
Hare Krishna.
Was really very happy. The young blood started reciting Bhagwat Gita. Really, you all are having same features. Your mom, you, and Premila Mataji. Very good features, It's a divine features you have. All 3. I could see even Dikshita also.
It's
The same, this
from
thing.
the beautiful ladies.
Very nice, Pooja. I couldn't concentrate much on the full presentation, but I could join. Today I had some puja inside the home, so but still, what I've present, this is already recording is also there, right? So I'll just check out the recording. But the last bits and all, it was too good. Keep it up, dear. Keep it up. Lord Krishna bless you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah. I missed your starting presentation, but when I was listening to you, it was really very touching type it was. And seriously, the conclusion and all shlokas you have given in such a detailed manner, like I never saw this. Okay, and I'm really very sorry that I missed my starting lectures just because I was busy in breakfast.
It's okay, Mataji, it's okay.
And whatever the explanation was there was really very great. And at your age, you're doing in such a good, uh, I mean, presentation. I'm surprised.
Thank you, Mataji.
That you're having a exam preparation also. In that, also doing so well. Hats off to you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you,
today I can see two suns. Sun, like Suraj. So one is outside and one is our Pramila Mataji. She's glowing and glowing and glowing.
माता जी ऐसे होता है, बच्चे की तारीफ से जो माँ को खुशी होती है ना, उसकी तो कोई नहीं कर सकता।
इसीलिए तो कृष्णा भी
Really,
चाहते हैं
माता
कि मेरे
जी।
डिवोटीज की तारीफ हो, क्योंकि कृष्णा को भी तभी मजा आता है जब बच्चों की तारीफ होती है. And we can see that.
Really, ma'am.
I know,
Yeah,
Mataji, that's what you're feeling. I can see your face, and you truly deserve it.
okay, Mataji. Only one reason, Mataji, because I have a very, what to say, I've transferred to one family at least, like one, she's going to develop another family, right? Pooja, she is going to have another family separately. So I'm definitely sure that she will be, to her kid, she will be teaching Bhagavad Gita also, and the generation will go. So at least from one kid, I'm just, it's going, right? So I'm very happy, Mataji. Then how much happy you will be feeling, Mataji? Every day you're teaching so to so many kids. Now only I can feel that.
True.
Yes, Mataji, sharing is happiness. One Maharaj, he used to say, the more you give Krishna, the more you get Krishna. Only if you give Krishna to others, you will get Krishna. Otherwise, you will not get. That's why, our talking to others is so important. Like, that's the blood, preaching and talking about Krishna is the blood. Shravanam and then Kirtanam. And then Smaranam, then come remembrance. I'm very happy, Pramila Mataji, to see you and see this is family, this otherwise it is not family. This is real family. This is real grahastas, who are connected to each other through Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, they are grahamedis. We are grahamedis. So, thank you for bringing Sharmila Mataji, and we could discover, of course, who are we? It is Krishna who is doing everything, but her potential is seen. So I'm not like just saying here, Pooja, but you have to take it seriously as an instruction. And of course, all this happened through Krishna's arrangement only, but Srila Prabhupada's blessings are there, and we all from our group also, we always will pray and pray for you and bless you. Being elders, we can bless you and we'll pray for you. And if you need any help, we are always here. Okay, any help, any kind of help, just call any of us. Okay.
Thank you,
And
Mataji.
continue in your path without stopping. One baby step a day, that's it. Not much. Baby step.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you. It means
Sure,
a lot.
Mataji.
It means a lot. While reading, actually, honestly, while reading and when my mom was teaching me, I was very interested. I would ask, I would ask her so many questions like, Ma, why is this? Why is that? My mom would be like, you joined Bhagwat Gita class. Don't ask me too many questions. I'm like, I was in fact telling Mama, you know what? I'll go to Bhagwat Gita class and then I'll answer all the questions to you itself. Then you'll also learn the answers.
No, really. Glorious are those mothers who always encourage their kids on the right path. And your mom is definitely, one of them.
Yes.
Thank you, Sharmila Mataji. See, just by being, coming on the call, and you never talk so much. I mean, of course you are there, but you're so quiet, but you did your work like, quietly. You developed Pooja into such a big, star. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna, Pramila Mataji.
पूजा माता जी है।
I am
Mataji.
Pooja माता जी और भक्तिन पूजा माता जी को दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare
सुपर
Krishna Mataji.
सुपर, बहुत अच्छा माता जी, आज नजर उतार दीजिएगा।
बिल्कुल।
क्यों-
And she can
मतलब
talk in Hindi, Mataji. She can understand. She can talk. She can read. She can write. But she don't practice. If you
सुपर।
talk, she can understand, Mataji. She can also reply in Hindi.
मेरी हिंदी इतना अच्छा नहीं है।
नो 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 नो, इट्स ओके।
कभी मुझे शब्द आती है, सिर्फ वो ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स आता है मुझे, तो इसलिए
इट्स ओके, सुपर, मतलब वर्ड्स नहीं है, स्पीचलेस आई एम। ओके, व्हाट ग्रेट पूजा?
college, Mataji, university. I'm doing my third year in biomedical science.
ओह वेरी गुड, मतलब आज तो मतलब क्लैपिंग करूंगी मैं, बहुत ही अच्छा। और अभी तो मेरी बेटी स्कूल गई है, मैं उसको भी वीडियो आपका दिखाऊंगी। बहुत माता जी, बहुत। और प्रमिला माता जी, आप मतलब आप माँ का तो बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है अपने बच्चों को आगे करने में, पूरा ही 100% ही कहेंगे। और फिर बच्चों में भी होता है कि वो कितना हमसे इंस्पायर हो रहे हैं, कितना वो चाह रहे हैं, क्योंकि हर कोई बच्चा भी आगे नहीं बढ़ पाता है, तो मतलब दोनों लोगों का ही क्या बात है,
माँ बाप दोनों तरफ से होना चाहिए इक्वल। ये तो दोनों के नसीब अच्छे हैं, बेटी भी अच्छी है, माँ भी अच्छी है, दोनों।
Mila Mataji, now though we'll keep calling you for parenting tip also. Parenting.
Actually, I'm a teacher, Mataji. I'm also doing the course in preschool, and I was a teacher for past 10 years.
Oh, very nice, Mataji. Nice to know.
All kinds of children, Mataji. I know their psychology.
श्रद्धा माता जी,
Psychology is
इसका
different,
वो
but the humbleness, the politeness, the respect is something which is like by birth only, or we get from our parents, or like by seeing others what is happening in our surroundings, especially at home. So you take credit, Mataji. It's okay. So
श्रद्धा माता जी,
nice to
इनका
see you,
वो
Pooja. I'm so like my kids are small, but I'm inspired for my kids. Like okay, अभी वो होता है ना कि थोड़ा थोड़ा ज्यादा वैसी चीजें दिखने लगती है ना आपको कि डर लगने लगता है बच्चों के लिए कि कितना कंपटीशन है, क्या है, पढ़ाई पढ़ाई ये तो नहीं, मतलब you give me like things like this keep coming in the mind, like तो ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ नहीं नहीं, अगर माता जी ने किया है तो आई थिंक वी कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई, एंड आई एम टेलिंग यू माई ट्रू फीलिंग, क्योंकि अभी मेरे बच्चे छोटे हैं तो आई कैन स्टार्ट लाइक वो बोल रहे ना ममता माता जी बेबी स्टेप्स, तो ऐसे ऐसे करके बाय शोइंग योर वीडियो ऑल्सो आई विल डेफिनेटली शो योर वीडियो टू माई, लाइक बच्चे ना वो एज होता है फैक्टर, तो उससे इंस्पायर होते हैं छोटे बच्चे, छोटे बच्चों से, बड़े बच्चों से, जैसे वो दीदी दीदी बोलेंगे, दीदी बोल रही हैं they will be very happy to see. Like Pooja like Mamta Mata जी की बेटियां जब वो आरती गाती है, गरिमा दीदी, गहना दीदी कितना अच्छा गाती है मम्मा, बोलते हैं। मैं देखती और लर्न करना भी चाहते हैं, तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
It's an honor, जी, seriously बहुत बड़ी ऑनर है जो आप कहते हो, it's बहुत बड़ी ऑनर है। I mean, अगर मैं बच्चों को इंस्पायर कर सकती हूँ then it's honoring actually, तो
You can do it. You definitely, I can see in your teaching today that what Mataji was saying, I'm not very good in talking and like praising, but what you say, na, the essence you take out from the chapter, it's what's true, like एकदम word to word एकदम समझा दिया बिल्कुल, मैंने तो नहीं पढ़ा था, समझ में आ गया। इतना अच्छा।
Thank you, Mataji.
थैंक यू माता जी। आई थिंक पूजा माता जी कुछ कह रहे थे। पूजा माता जी।
हाँ माता जी, मैं बोल रही थी श्रद्धा माता जी से कि इसका ना वो शेयर करिएगा यूट्यूब वाला माता जी।
हाँ हाँ, यूट्यूब पे अपलोड हो रहा है रोज का रोज माता जी, वो यूट्यूब लिंक जो है ना उसमें आप देख लेना, सभी का है उसमें। आज कर देंगे माता जी।
लिंक भी शेयर कर दीजिएगा, मेरे पास नहीं है शायद।
अच्छा, आपका
मैं
डिलीट
कर
हो गया
दूंगी
था
माता जी। हाँ, मैं दोबारा कर लेती हूँ। और
Thank
जैसे
you
ही
so much.
पूजा का अपलोड होगा ना, फिर मैं उसका अलग से एक लिंक और एक शेयर कर दूंगी।
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much once again. We will all take a picture today. If everybody can come on camera, that will be nice. Pramila Mataji, Manimala Mataji. Pooja Mataji,
Okay, Mataji.
Shraddha Mataji, Pooja Mataji. Okay. Say Hari. Okay. मेरे हाथ busy थे. Okay, thank you. So,
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
yes. So as I said, 2 promises: never give up and share. Okay. This
Sure,
is
ma'am.
just keep walking, and praises will come. Sometimes opposite of praises will also come. Take both of them. Everything, what I have realized that we know, right, for growing, everything is required. For even to grow in Krishna consciousness, we need both praises and other things. So if at all those come, take that also in right spirit and keep walking. Okay. Because when you go ahead in path, you meet so many different kind of people, so many different, sometimes your family members. Like yesterday we were discussing about Rukmani, that how Rukmani had opposition from her family itself, but still she was very determined and she got married to Lord Krishna. She wrote him a letter. So oppositions might come, praises might come. They both are same. For us devotees, both are same. In fact, sometimes we don't look at praises, we look at criticism, because that helps us. Okay. I'm telling you all this because I know you are future Nitai Sevini Mataji. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, bye. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
And-
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Sharmila Mataji, give her a hug from all of us. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And kiss her forehead also. Okay. Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. See you all again on Monday. Okay. And
Yeah, big hug
Ma-
and lots of kisses for you, Pooja.
Sure.
Bye, dear. Take care.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Have a good weekend.
So
Mataji.
we can,
Hare Krishna,
like you
Mataji.
said, Soumya Mataji, we can quickly meet tomorrow morning for Prabhupada Leela Amrita.